Welcome to another episode of Ikezy Talks. But in fact, I'm so angry. I'm so angry. That game, especially in the first half, was there for the taking. Liverpool were there for the taking. And this is my problem with Arsenal. Sorry, I skipped the bit where I tell you that this is actually, the post-match review of the Arsenal versus Liverpool game that was just played at Emirates Stadium. That game was there for the taking in the first half. We played so brilliantly in the first half. The only thing that was missing was actually, converting, the little chances that we had, right? We just lacked that penetrative, that last action in the box. And I thought that Liverpool defended well in the first half. I wasn't even expecting that they were going to deploy, a low block or a deep block like they did, and they did it perfectly. But this is my frustration, right? How do you play like that in the first half and then you come in the second half and play something totally different, completely different? It's baffling, honestly. It's really baffling. I won't say I was making mouths before the game because every Arsenal fan will agree with me that the feeling that we had before the game, considering how we've been playing and how Liverpool have been playing, also considering the fact that they beat us at Anfield, it was supposed to be a game where we revenge. That is one. It was supposed to be a game that would not relatively easy. Like I said it in the pre-match review that I do respect Liverpool, but my prediction was way off. I predicted a 3-1 victory, right? And I was right to predict that simply because Liverpool are also missing a lot of players. Salah did not play. Isak did not play. Ekitike was also missing, right? These guys turned up to the Emirates with Frimpong playing right wing. Kekes had one of his best game as a Liverpool player. That is on us because we all know Kekes is a bomb, but he had his best game as a Liverpool player against us. That says a lot, right, about how or our mentality, especially in the second half. I do not think that Ateta got the tactics wrong. I honestly believe that this draw is totally on the players. They need to look at themselves in the mirror. They honestly need to look at themselves in the mirror. Yes, I get it. There is mental fatigue. They've been playing a lot of games, yada, 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 yada. But the Premier League is hard. You have to kill off your opponents. You have to beat them when they are down. Liverpool have been struggling. You can't let a struggling Liverpool come to your house and dominate you with possession like they did, right? I know that I am not overreacting. And I also know that, yes, it was a case of Liverpool had all the possession, but they had no bites because Liverpool had zero shots on target throughout the entire game. Now, as against to the 3 or the 4, the 5 that we had, right? By the end of the day, it did look that like we were seriously out of our depth. That is what it looks like, or that is what it looked like at the end of the day. And it is largely frustrating. It is largely frustrating. You can't I mean, I get it. But here's another thing that I did think about. And, I was going to record this session immediately after the game because I was, really angry with the performance. But then again, something to that I took note of. This season, we've struggled to beat the top sides. Like this, we didn't beat Man City, we drew at Man City, we drew at Man City at home, we drew Man City at home, we drew against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, we lost to Liverpool at Anfield. We've drawn to Liverpool at the Emirates. Man U is not a big team, so we beat Man U. Or Man U is not a serious team, whatever. But then again, the big teams, it looks like we're struggling against them. And I see if what it means to win the title this year is to struggle against the big teams, I will take it, honestly. But then again, it's just so frustrating. It's a cause of frustration for me because if when you see your team being regarded as the best team in the league at the moment, being regarded as possibly one of the best teams in the world, and you are struggling to play a injury-ridden team like Liverpool, then it might not be a cause for alarm right now, but in the long run, it could be. But then again, I'm not oblivious to the fact that, you are not going to win all the games that you play. There'll be certain games that you would play and then it will be rough. And that kind of toned down my anger a little bit. That toned down, it felt like I was overreacting at first, but then you can't blame me. I'm a fan, just like you guys. I'm a fan. My expectation was that we're going to decimate them. And I had every right to feel that way. But here we are. It was a goalless draw. It was a very boring game in my opinion. It was a game of two halves, right? Some players. In fact, I don't think there was any standout performer for me. Honestly, Gabriel was unlucky. Last minute of the game, he could have won the game for us. That was just literally the tail of the game. Liverpool didn't really offer anything, going forward, aside from Frimpong, beating Miles Lewis Kelly a couple of times, and that was it. Our attackers were it was just a very dull performance. Honestly, it was a very dull performance. I don't really have anything to say other than I am disappointed. I'm disappointed, but it's not all doom and gloom. Yes, we are still 6 points clear, right? And it hurts me that I'm saying this because I was expecting that I would be 8 points clear. But guess what? Being 8 points clear does not exactly guarantee anything because we've been 8 points clear twice before and then we've not won the title. So that's what I'm saying. If what it takes for us to win the title is for us to not beat the big teams. I know this is some kind of shallow type of, punditry or analysis, but the data doesn't lie. If that is what is going to take us to win the Premier League, then I will take it, right? I will take it because honestly, if we win this league, it's just going to be a source of relief, for me as an Arsenal fan. I'll be relieved more than I'll be joyous, honestly. So I wanted us to get the job done. It felt like 2 points drop at the end of the day. And I think both sides will probably feel that way, right? Liverpool also feel like they could have won the game, especially because they had lots of possession in the second half, right? And I also want to talk about an issue because I feel like there's been a narrative online. Everyone seems to be overflogging the issue, and I like the way Arne Slot perfectly handled it in his post match. Also, I love the way Ateta did the Martinelli issue, the yellow card he got. Now, I don't condone what he did. I don't condone it. He was rightfully yellow carded. That was wrong what he did. It was wrong. But just like Arne Slot said, this speaks to a bigger issue in football, right? Towards the end of the game, especially when a team is trying to chase, the game to win, rather from a losing position or, from a stalemate position, the opponents often tend to waste time. There is time wasting across football, right? So now, when a player goes down like that towards the end of the game, away from home, the first instinct of the player is to think that he's trying to waste time. And honestly, like I said, I don't condone what he did, right? Martinelli is not the type of player. He is not a malicious player. That was just poor judgment in the heat of the moment. And honestly, if I expect that he would apologize. He doesn't need to do a public apology. He can do an apology to Conor Bradley. Why? Because it looked like Conor Bradley was genuinely hurt. Like he did his ankle. Hopefully, it's not an ACL injury, right? He was hurt. I don't think Conor Bradley even knew that he was halfway on the pitch and halfway out of the pitch. Pushing him in that situation was bad, was wrong, and he was rightfully yellow carded for it. Now, that's not to say that players don't go down like that to waste time, right? So, that being said, there's no need to overflog the issue. I'm saying, hey, Martinelli, this, Martinelli, that. Both managers have come out and have said that Martinelli, Ateta works with him. He knows he's not a malicious player, and he said it. And it's not said, it doesn't seem like a malicious guy, right? It was just poor judgment in the heat of the moment. So that should clear whatever it is that anyone is, peddling on social media or whatever. There's no need to overflog it. So that is that. It was a goalless draw. I know that a lot of my comments have been buzzing on TikTok, on Facebook, everyone, because I dropped clips where I said we're going to win 3-1. I wanted us to pummel them. I wanted us to that. I'm just a passionate fan like you. If now you say waiting you could talk, that's what you would say, right? So, but then it didn't happen the way I wanted. But it's not all doom and gloom. We did not lose the game, right? But yes, it leaves that sour taste in my mouth because I really felt like we could have extended our lead to 8 points and showed that we are not here to play. But today just wasn't the day. And I know that Ateta will talk to the boys. I know that the players they know well more than anyone that that was 2 points drop and they need to better their performances. Yes, we have the FA Cup coming up. It's an opportunity for us to rotate and rest some of the senior players. It was really sad to see Nkapie, leave the pitch due to injury. I just hope it's not anything serious. I'd love to see a much rotated squad against Portsmouth. Get the likes of Iwaneri if he's available. Let Jesus start. If Havertz can play, Ben White, Norgard, Miles Lewis Kelly. Because Miles Lewis Kelly today was really off. He was really off, honestly. I think that boy needs some game time so he can, help his confidence. Frimpong is a right back. He shouldn't be beating you the way he was beating him, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. He almost, in fact, it was really bad. But I think if he plays against Portsmouth and maybe possibly in the first leg against Chelsea, who knows how long Ikezy is out, that might help his confidence. That might big up his confidence, right? And then when he gets back to the level that we've always known him, that he can be or that he can achieve, which we also saw last season, right? And other players too, can come in to get some minutes. And then we play in the league next weekend against Nottingham Forest. Hopefully, our players are back fresh, and then we can continue to win as we go on. Anyways, that'll be the end of this analysis. If you like this content, if you think that you have a different opinion on the game, please let me know in your comment section. Please subscribe, like, share, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.